Hey, it's Lily from woodwellness.com. Today is Christmas Eve, which is why you see me wearing my ugly Christmas sweater. And since this YouTube channel and podcast is all about losing weight on a vegan diet, I thought, what better topic to talk about today on Christmas Eve than vegan junk food? Because I know many of you tonight are gonna go to relatives' houses and there's gonna be a lot of delicious food there and you're gonna be tempted to eat it all, just like I probably am. So I thought we should, just talk about this today, about how the mind, your emotions, and about the discipline that we need to have. So I tried to look for some vegan junk food here in my apartment to show you. I was surprised on myself and actually very proud because I couldn't really find that much. I found some, I don't know if it's junk food necessarily, it's processed food. And these are just some snacks that, for example, I have a Larabar cashew cookie. And it only has 2 ingredients. It's vegan, of course. It's just cashew and dates. So whenever I'm running late, I usually grab one of these. I also have some organic roasted seaweed snack. So these sometimes I eat when I'm at work and it's like 3 or 4 and I'm starting to get hungry again. I grab these. And I got some Puffins cereal, peanut butter and chocolate. And these I like to put on top of my oatmeal. So I know we're not supposed to eat junk food. And when I do get snacks, I try to have it be snacks that are healthy. Like the seaweed, doesn't have a lot of calories, or the Larabars only has 2 ingredients. But I still consider them junk food because they're not natural. They're not just rice or just beans, And ultimately, I think this does have an effect on our weight, so I try to limit it. But I also like to follow the 80-20 rule, which is that you eat healthy 80% of the time and you eat maybe not so healthy, some processed things like Larabars 20% of the time. Because if not, it would just be too hard and you'll probably just give up. So in the beginning, if the 80-20 rule is going to help you, then I think that you should follow it. I advise it. I do it myself. And I have been able to lose weight on a vegan diet that way. So on our website, woodwellness.com, we have this blog post and it's all about, not giving into your cravings of vegan junk food. And I made this, some slides here for you. And I just want to go over them all the information that's on the website because I think it's going to be very helpful for you. So I'm just going to start here. So not all vegan junk food is healthy. And then maybe I should have said not all vegan food is healthy. And this was one of my mistakes when I first became vegan. I thought, if as long as it says that it's vegan on the packaging, then it must be healthy and I can eat it and I will lose weight, because just eating vegan is going to help me lose weight. And that's not true. Okay. Actually, when I first went on a vegan diet and I started eating things that said vegan on it and I wasn't losing weight and I didn't understand why, but it's because of that, because I was eating too much processed food and a lot of vegan junk food, even though it's vegan, because vegan only means that it doesn't have a lot of dairy on it, right? or just animal products in general. But it still can have a lot of salt, which retains water in your body, and it can still have a lot of oil, and as you know, oil has a lot of calories. And if you are on a calorie, trying to be on a calorie deficit every day, then by eating things that have a lot of oil on it, it's going to be very hard. So no, not all vegan food is healthy, okay? So we need to try to eliminate all vegan junk food from our diet, and this is gonna have a lot of benefits. So you're gonna feel less tired, you're gonna lose weight, of course, have less headaches. I mean, there's all kinds of benefits that you will receive by not eating junk food. In the past, we did need to have a lot of, or eat a lot of fat and sugar for survival. And this was in our hunter-gatherer days, because, back there wasn't a lot of food, and our body tried to, retain as much fat as it could so that we could survive. But nowadays, that's not the case. I mean, there's food everywhere. You can buy food everywhere. And that's the problem. We eat too much of it. And our body will try to retain the fat, especially for women. We get that, extra belly. So we need to be careful with that, all right? We also need to examine our willpower. Yes, when it comes to vegan junk food, you gotta examine your willpower. When you're there in the grocery store and you're staring right at, all those chips that say vegan on it, and I know you want to eat it because I want to eat it too, but we need to stop ourselves. And right now we're gonna talk about what can affect the choices that we make. And it all begins in the brain. So we have something called the prefrontal cortex. And that's the prefrontal cortex is what controls our decision making and our impulses. So what can affect our decision making and therefore our prefrontal cortex? It's, for example, being sleep deprived, being distracted, or being drunk. And if you've ever been drunk, then you will know what I'm talking about. You probably don't make the best decisions. And so that all happens in the prefrontal cortex. So it's the same thing with vegan junk food. If you're distracted, you're watching TV and maybe you're distracted, right? You just keep eating, and then when you look down at the bag of chips, they're all gone, okay? So you gotta be careful with that. Next is your heart rate variability. And what the heart rate variability is a measure of the variation in time between each heartbeat. So when you increase your HRV, your breathing rate drops, and which means that you will be more relaxed and you will have better self-control. And so what can affect your heart rate variability? For example, anxiety can affect it, or also loneliness, which this goes back to your emotions, which I will talk about a little bit later. And this statistic really got me. Wow. Can you believe it? We make about 3,500 choices per day. Isn't that crazy? So our choices, and whether we make right choices or wrong choices, is being tested all day long. And what's worst is that our willpower depletes. So as the day goes on and you become more tired, you are more likely to make bad choices. And in this matter, what we're talking about, bad food choices, for example, eating vegan junk food. So, maybe you're tired from work and you get home and you're just looking for those vegan chips, right? Or vegan cookies. But it's because you're tired from the whole day. You have made so many choices already during the day that when it's nighttime and you get home, you don't have the willpower anymore to make good choices. So in this case, I would just suggest that you meal plan. For example, you already have ready what you're gonna eat for dinner. Because this happens to me too. I come back home from work and I'm tired and I'm so hungry and I just want to eat whatever I see. And I know that if I start cooking, the food's not gonna be done in another half an hour. So I just want to eat whatever I see. So the solution for this is try not to buy vegan junk food. Because if you don't have vegan junk food in your apartment, then you cannot eat it, right? Instead, buy bananas or sweet potatoes. And so you will have no choice but to grab a banana instead of vegan chips when you get home from work and you're tired. And something else that I also want to talk about is that, I know that your willpower depletes, right? But you can also exercise it. It's like a muscle. So there's a story about this guy that he really wanted to give up M&Ms, and instead of just say, oh, I'm not gonna buy M&Ms anymore, blah blah blah, because that doesn't work. Okay, you're gonna go to the grocery store and you're still gonna buy some. So instead he put a jar of M&Ms close to his desk, and at first it was really hard to not get any. And this is gonna happen. At first it's gonna be really hard, but you keep looking at them and you keep looking at them, and every time it gets a little bit easier and easier and easier, okay? So trust me, this happens. At first, it's going to be really hard for you to give it up. You're going to want to eat it. But you got to exercise that muscle in your brain, and eventually it's going to become easier. So next, I want to talk again about your emotions. So your emotions are getting the best of you. So when you feel sad, your boyfriend, girlfriend just broke up with you and you just want to eat ice cream, right? So this is a big issue when it comes to weight loss, and an issue that people don't talk about enough, which is your emotions, okay? Emotional eating is actually a big deal. And you just have to understand that yes, maybe you will feel happy when you're eating your vegan junk food, but it's only temporary. And this is such a big topic, and I do want to talk about it more, but I think that's like a whole new video, okay? But just be aware that your emotions do matter. So when you eat a lot of vegan junk food, your body becomes contaminated. And it's necessary that we detox your body. But first I want to talk about cleaning out your palate. So I know this happened for me, and if it hasn't happened to you, you will see that it will. So when you start eating food that has less sodium, less salt, then, and if you do this for a long time, maybe a few months, you will notice that when you do eat something, maybe that same food that, a few months before you liked it, you thought it tastes great, but that had a lot of salt on it, and then you stop eating it for a few months. If you eat it again, you will think that it tastes salty. And it's the same with sugar. If you start eating sugary foods, then when you eat them again, they're gonna taste like very sugary, very sweet. And I think when you get to this point, it's a big accomplishment. So it should be something that you try your best to do, all right? So like I said, you gotta try to detox your body. Just drink a lot of water. You can do intermittent fasting. There's lots of things that you can do to detox your body. And, just to conclude, to bring it back all to the whole topic of what we've been discussing today, is that vegan junk food is an addiction. Okay, eating junk food is an addiction. And there's something that we have in our body that is called dopamine. And when you see all those delicious vegan treats, your body will release dopamine. And it's just something that makes you excited. It's connected to your brain, to your nerves. We have to be aware of this. And, the sad thing is that, all those companies, manufacturers that make vegan junk food, or just junk food in general, they work really hard to make the texture of the food and the ingredients of the food be in a way that you will become addicted to it. And I mean, they spend millions and millions of dollars in trying to achieve this. So let's not fall into their trap, all right? And lastly, I just want to say that yes, you can win the battle, okay? I know it's hard, but it's not impossible. You can do it, okay? And so, lastly, I just want to say, Merry Christmas. I don't know if you celebrate Christmas or not, but if you do, Merry Christmas. And if you don't, then I hope you are home, relaxing today, just enjoying your day off, that you're on vacation from work. And if you're watching me here on YouTube, just drop a comment, press like, and I will see you next time.